Hello love, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lovette, and if this is your first time here, please don't make it your last. Hit on the subscribe button and be part of this family. In this channel we share sewing tutorials on both male and female, and if that is something that interests you, please hit on that subscribe button. In today's video we're learning how to draft a corset top. So without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you do is to draft out your shoulder line. That's your starting point. So this is our starting point. Then from your shoulder line, you come down to your bust point. That's 10 inch. My bust point is 10 inch. Then from there to your full length. The full length of this top is 17. Then I'm adding 1 inch. So I'm making it 18. So then the next thing is to come at your under bust and take a line. So the 10 is for my bust point, 13 is my under bust, then the 18 is the full length. So you make a line at those points. Make a straight line at those points. So now you have your bust point, that's the 10 inch. You have your under bust, that's the 13 inch. And now we have our full length, which is the 18 inches. Then you come up by 2 inch to get your chest line. Just from your bust point, come up by 2 inch and make a line. That will be your chest line. So the next thing now is to start drafting out a basic body. So at the shoulder, I divide my shoulder by 2. That's 7. Then I divide it again by 2. I'm using 3 for the neck. You really do not need this part, but I just have to do it so you understand. So we are basically drafting out a basic body. So that's for the neck. So at that chest line, divide your bust measurements by 4. Divide it by 4, then you mark what you have. So from that shoulder, that's 7 that you make a straight line down to the chest line. Just look at what I'm doing. Then from there, look for the midpoint. Our midpoint is 4. So you come in by ½ inch. Come in by ½ inch. Next is to connect the bust measurement you have, then the midpoint and the shoulder. You connect that 3 parts. Just look at what I'm doing. Next, you get your bust span measurement divided by 2. Bust span, that's your nipple to nipple measurement, then divided by 2. Mine is 7, divided by 2 give me 3.5. So you mark your 3.5 as the bust point and the under bust and the full length. Then you connect the lines together, connect those points together. Next thing is to come to the shoulder and measure what you have at the shoulder, divide it by 2. Well, I have 4, so divided by 2 is 2. So you connect that point to the bust point line that you've measured. Connect it to the bust point. Next is to get your bust circumference. So to get that, you measure what you have from your bust point to your under bust. I have 3. So that 3, you measure it round, starting from the bust point. Place that 3 at that dot you see at that bust point. Place it there. Then you measure your 3. Just be taking it round. Measure it, take your time. Be taking it round. Make sure your 3 is still sitting on that point. Your 3 is sitting on that point. Then you go round. And this is just to give us a proper guide. It's not like it's really necessary, but it's just to give us a proper guide on drafting the cups for the corset. So start using the marker here so you guys can see it clearly. So from your bust point, come down by 1 inch from your bust point. Then at your under bust, you come out by ½ inch from that line. Come out by ½ inch from each side. ½ inch this side, ½ inch the other side. Then the same thing at your full length. ½ inch this side, ½ inch the other side. Then you connect it to your under bust. Connect from your full length to your under bust. The next thing is to connect that ½ inch to your 1 inch that you brought down. The 1 inch that you brought down, connect it. Just look at what I'm doing. Connect it this way. And guys, if you do not have this French curve, you can still use your free hand to do this. So next is to come down at that under bust and measure what you have there, what you have in that place. So I have 1.5. So you give half to the part going to the center. Give half to it. Come at the top at that bust line. Give half to the part going to the center. Then you give 1 inch to the part going to the armhole. The armhole part gets the 1 inch. Then add ¼ inch to avoid gaping, just to tighten it more. Add ¼ inch. So we are not using that one, we are using the one they added ¼ inch. So you add ¼ inch. So it's now ½ and quarter at the front, then 1¼ at the side, and you connect it to your bust point. Connect it like this to your bust point. Do the same thing at the other side. So you just connect the curve like this. Next is to come at the center. So if you can still use the chest line, but if you want it to go down a bit, then you come down by ½ inch. So I came down by ½ inch, then I came in again by ½ inch. Then you connect it to that line you have at the top. Connect it to that line. Then you connect from your under bust to the top. Just look at what I'm doing. Connect it like so. Connect it to meet that ½ inch that you brought inward. So we've gotten one part of the curve. Next thing is to go to your armhole. From your armhole to that bust measurement, divide it by 2. Get your midpoint. So once you have your midpoint, you come down by ½ inch again and make a straight line. So that's the new armhole we are using. Then from that line at the top, connect it to the armhole line. The new armhole line now that we are using, that's the ½ inch that will came down. So you connect it like so. So from that dot you have, by dividing your armhole, connect it from that point to your under bust. Just connect it from that point you got from at the armhole to your under bust. These are our 2-part corsets. This is part 1 and this part 2. And the next thing is to I'm just drafting out the neck. This place I use pen. I'm just using marker so it will come out where. Just using marker to bring it out. So you come to the chest line, divide your bust measurement by 4. That's 8.5 I have for my bust measurement, divide by 4. So at that top part, you measure what you have. I have 2 inch. You bring it back and you plus your 1.5 sewing allowance. So that's it. Then at the waist, you divide your waist measurement by 4 again. You divide it by 4. Then come at that line, the ½ inch that you've gotten out. You measure what you have. That will be 1 inch. So you add your 1 inch, then plus your 1.5 for allowance. Then you connect from the bust to the waist. It's really easy, guys. It's so easy. So I'm just basically using marker to bring out the lines. So just bringing out the line at the dark parts. That's all for the front. It's so easy, guys. This is the front part. So now we just cut out the parts. I'm cutting out the neck. Just look at the parts that I'm cutting out, so you won't end up spoiling your corset. You do not want that. So just look at the parts that I'm cutting out carefully. Get rid of the side. Then you cut from our new armhole. Then to the up part. And you cut the one side of the cup, you cut it out. We do not need this and we do not need that part. So those are the parts that we do not need. So you just curve it so you not spoil the yoke. That up part now is not the yoke. That's if you want your dress to have a yoke. That's the part you use to get your yoke. So just look at the parts that I'm cutting out. And you cut out this part. Do not need this part. You don't need that part. So this is our center. This is the center. This is the two cup, and this is the side. Yeah, we are basically done. So this is how to sew it if you want to sew. That arrow, you should just indicate that arrow so you know how to join the cups. I want this corset to be a 3-part corset. So at the middle, I'll just come down by 2.5. Then at the center part, I'll come down by 2. I'm supposed to do this even before cutting the cup. Come down by 2. At the middle, 2.5. Then at the side parts, come down by 2. Then you connect them. You can still use your free hand to do it, just like I'm doing it here. Just use your free hand to do it. And you cut out. So I'm just trying to indicate how the parts will go. So the other parts will be going direct to the other arrow. So that is all for the cup. And these are the parts. So the next thing to do is, if you have a tape, please tape that 2 parts. This 2 part now, tape it and place it on another paper. But I really do not have a tape. I'm so sorry, guys. At the moment, I don't have a tape. So I'm just going to place it as if it's taped. Don't try this at home. Please tape it. So I'm just placing it. Then I'm tracing it out so I can get one shape out of it. I'm tracing it out. So guys, this is the side, and this arrow is just to indicate the place to join, and this is the right, so this is the left. So the right side will be going to the right part of the cup, and the left side will be going to the left part. So that's all. So this is the back. To get the back, you bring the side pattern and just measure how many you have there. I have 10 inch. I have 10 inch. So that will be your back length. So you mark the 10 inch and make a straight line. Then you come out by 2 inch. Mark your 2 inch for your zip allowance. That's if you want the corset to have a zip. So that's 2 inches for your zip allowance. So you measure your bust span. That's your nipple to nipple. Bring it down. Next, you bring out that ½ inch for your darts. Measure your ½ inch at the two sides of it. This is for the darts. This is for the darts. Just look at what I'm doing, guys. The next, you measure your bust measurement, divide by 4 plus 1½ inch. At the down, you measure your waist measurement, divide by 4. Bring back the ½ inch that you've joined, which is now 1. You add it, then plus your 1½ inch. The back is very easy. Then you connect them together. I'm just coming down by 1 inch. It's not showing actually. I'm just sorry. I'm coming down by 1 inch because I want it to be down a bit. If you really do not want it to go down, you can just leave it like that. So just cutting it out. This zip allowance, I do not want mine to have a zip because it's going to have a loop at the back. So we are going to take off the zip allowance. And the darts, I'm just going to cut one part of it, so, and I'll place it like this. So while I'm cutting it on the fabric, I do not have to put that anymore. I'm pinning it down. Just look at what I did. I cut one part and I place it so there will be no more darts while I'm cutting it on the fabric. And the zip allowance will be going out as well because we do not need it. So next, I'm coming in by 2 inch for my slope. It has to be open. So I want it to be like a V kind of slope. So yeah, I'm coming in by 1½, 2 inch at the up, then 1½ at the down, and I'll just connect them. Then I'll cut it out. So guys, that's all for the 3-part corset. This is the center, this is the side, and these are the curve. So if you want your dress to have a yoke, that's where your yoke come in. This is the yoke. So this is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. In our next video, we'll be bringing the sewing part. So like and hit on that subscription bell, and as well on the notification bell, so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.